Recently, I had a friend who I've known for the past 5 years become a full-time caregiver. Her husband went through an illness, and she suddenly became full-time caregiver of her husband. And she called me and told me that she had been thinking about me because she knew that I had gone through something similar and I had done so well, but she kept thinking about me. And in her mind, I was kind of the mascot for caregiving. My words, not her words. But as I started talking to her, I realized that I have shown the public, even my close friends, one side of caregiving. And I have tried to be positive and hold it all together, and that's good. But then she was not seeing the full picture of what I am as a caregiver. And I laughed and I said, "Have I ever told you about my crying buddy?" And she got quiet, and she was actually driving to Philadelphia at the time to where her husband was. And I laughed and I said, all of those times, and there's been probably 8 hospital visits to Philadelphia in the last 2 or 3 years. I said, all of those times Dan's in Philadelphia, I drive the hour and a half up there, depending on traffic. I spend 12 hours with him, and then because of COVID, I get kicked out at 9 o'clock. I drive that hour and a half home. I do it the next day, and I do that 5, 6, 7 days until I'm utterly exhausted. And when he's in the hospital, it's usually because there's a problem and we don't know if it's going to be resolved, because one day, most likely, his liver's going to shut down and that's going to be the end. And I never know which hospital trip it's going to be. And so I have a cousin who I call on the way home from the hospital because I can cry, I can say unkind things, I can be whatever I need to be until I get that out, because I don't want to do it in front of Dan. I don't really want to do it to my mother. So I call my cousin, and she is my crying buddy, so that I can cry all the way home from Philadelphia if necessary. And my friend kind of paused, and she said, "I didn't know that." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I can pull it together and I can have a positive front." I said, "But don't think that I have not hit rock bottom. Don't think that I have not had my emotional ups and downs. I have cried so much. I just prefer to cry in private." So a lot of people don't always see that side of me. I laughed and I said, when Dan and I worked together at the beginning of the cancer journey, we would go to lunch after his doctor's appointment, whether it was good news or bad news, because I would have to go in the bathroom, cry for a few moments, come back out, eat lunch, go back to work. So people at work didn't see the crying in the bathroom part before I came back. So it's great to have a positive outlook and keep that front up so that people know that we're doing our best. But sometimes it's important to break that barrier down and let people know, I'm not okay. This has been a rough 6 years. There's ups and downs. There's times I don't know that I can do it another day, but I do, and that's the side that people usually see. But know that deep down, as a caregiver, I'm often hurting, and I often don't know where I'm going to get that strength. But I have my faith, I have my friends and my family, and I keep moving on. But sometimes know that there's a different story going on in the heart of that caregiver.